Okay. What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 94 of Benny in the Booth podcast. Thank you so much for the support to this point. I very much do appreciate it. We have the Immaculate grid right in front of me. We've got MLB weekly recap. We've got crazy NFL week 3 recap with week 4 predictions. We've got college football week 4 recap with week 5 preview, which really, outside of one game, there's not much to talk about with college football. So let's get right into it. So, Immaculate grid for those on audio and cannot visually see the grid. The Yankees, Diamondbacks, and Rookie of the Year award winner is the top row, and the bottom is cross. Going down is Baltimore Orioles, San Francisco Giants, and Kansas City Royals. All right, so Baltimore, New York. First person that comes to mind is Mike Mussina, but it might be too obvious of an answer. Is there anyone else that would come to mind when I think New York and Baltimore? Wells might have put too much risk. Albert Bell, no. Murray, no. Griffey, no. Eric Davis, no. Cal, no. Waiters, no. I like thinking through a whole bunch of Orioles teams. Mancini, no. I'm going to go Mussina because I just realized who might be a more obvious answer. And I might be wrong. More obvious answer might be Hicks, but maybe not. Okay. New York, San Francisco. Kenny Lofton, part of the 04 Yankees and 02 Giants for half a year. Yankees, Royals, Billy Butler played at the end of his career with the Yankees. That's 2%. That's another good find. Okay. Baltimore, Arizona. Roberto Alomar played played a year with Arizona. 3%. Okay. Arizona, San Francisco, Steve Finley comes to mind. Played 1 year, then was a year or two, and then his career with San Francisco. 4%. That's a good find. Okay. Arizona, Kansas City, Greg Holland comes to mind. 2%. Okay. Now we get to where I might have some struggling. San Francisco Rookie of the Year. I don't know anyone else besides Buster Posey, so I'm just going to use Buster Posey. High percentage, 73, of course. Kansas City. I feel like there's a chance Greinke did, and that's the only answer I can come up with. But then again, maybe not. Because here's the thing with Rookie of the Years, their guys have had a lot of good rookie years, but yet don't win the award. Do I just go with Greinke? Like it. And it did not work out. I'm going to try a guess for Baltimore. My one guess would be Cal Ripken. And okay, at least that was right. 297 was my rarity score. 78% it was his score. Let's see what else. Okay, Mike Mussina actually was the top answer for New York, Baltimore. Interesting. Oh, Adam Jones. That was a high rarity score, 26, but that's dumb. Cal Ripken Jr., Rookie of the Year, of course, highest. Beltran for Royals, that makes sense. Carlos Rodon for Yankees, Giants. Madison Bumgarner for Arizona, San Francisco. Buster Posey, Giants, Rookie of the Year. Kansas City, New York, Rolls Chapman. Kansas City, Arizona, Zach Greinke. And then Carlos Beltran for Kansas City, Rookie of the Year. I'm curious to see some of these other Rookie of the Year winners for other teams, for these teams besides either what I put or what I didn't put. Let's start with Kansas City. They have the least. They only have 4. Kansas City. Ingo Baroa, who I have never heard of. Carlos Beltran, Bob Hamlin, who I've never heard of, and Lou Piniella, who I've heard of, but I did not know was part of the Kansas City Royals. Learn something new every day. San Francisco Giants. So other than Buster Posey, John Mentefusco. Never heard of him. Gary Matthews. I know hardly, but I didn't even know he was a San Francisco Giant. Willie McCovey. Okay, touche. You got me there. And Orlando Cepeda. They had back-to-back first baseman rookie of the years. And then the other one was Baltimore. Greg Olson, never heard of. Cal Ripken. Eddie Murray, heard of, did not know he won Rookie of the Year. Al Bunbury, who've not really heard of him. Kurt Bluffray, never heard of him. Ron Hansen, never heard of him. And that's it. So a lot of answers I've not heard of for a lot of these, which honestly kind of makes sense. That's how a lot of it works a lot of time. But yes, that was Immaculate Grid. Let's get right into NFL. What a week we've got to unravel. I did not really watch any of NFL this week due to it was a holiday, and all the games Israel time started before I could even start watching any of the games. Whereas America, you had a few hours before the holiday. Here it was 8 p.m. already. I was into the fast day already by a few hours. Well, what a week we had. Craziness of NFL, all around. Surprising results, crazy stuff from crazy games. Just mind-blowing week with a lot of things that unfolded. Started off, the Colts beat the Ravens 22-19 in overtime, led by Matt Gay, who kicked a 54-53, and a game-winning 53-yard field goal for Indy in the win. AKA, he hit 4 50-plus yard field goals in the win. Also, key parts of this game, and I watched the highlights from this game, Baltimore had so many chances to win this game before and even in overtime that, it kind of made me a bit more relaxed for the game next week where they're playing Cleveland. And we'll get to Cleveland's result literally in a moment. But with how many times they got an opportunity to win the game, you got to take advantage. I am sorry. The fact that they didn't take advantage with how many times they got a chance to score at least a touchdown or a field goal, whether before or in overtime, is just kind of sad and just not a good sign for Baltimore. It doesn't change the fact it's going to be a whole kick and butt test for Cleveland against Baltimore, but boy, that's a big blow to Baltimore that they couldn't take advantage of a huge gifted situation, and they blew it. Anyways, moving on, the Browns-Titans game. I will admit, when I said Browns win, I wasn't thinking it was going to be a blowout. I would think close game. Hopefully Henry doesn't do much. Maybe he does a little. 27-3. My mouth, not literally, but figuratively, dropped to the floor when I saw the score. I was like, what? And the biggest headline of this game is Derrick Henry only had 11 carries for 20 yards. That is not a good day for Derrick Henry. And also Tennessee only had 3 points. And 94 total yards. Also 5 sacks. The defense was literally all over Tennessee. Watson had his best game throwing for 2 touchdowns. Jerome Ford had a touchdown on each side. And what's funny is actually, and if I'm going to try to pull up this picture, I think it was Jerome Ford's receiving touchdown, which came first. CBS will show a graphic touchdown the player who got it. But instead of it showing touchdown Jerome Ford, which would have been the right player, they showed the wrong player and on the wrong side of the football. Here, instead of it being Jerome Ford, you might not be able to see it because I blurred the background. By the way, this is still the same place where I was previous episodes, just different room. I'll unblur it for a moment. Here we go. It reads touchdown Sione Taki, which I just was laughing when I saw that. They ended up fixing it, I think, but still, it's just hilarious how they make that mistake. Like, wrong player, wrong side of the ball of the player, and it's just hilarious. But Browns kicked the Titans 27-3, and just crazy. Their defense is definitely one of the best defenses I've seen for the Browns in a long time. But their true tests are, I'm not really going to give judgment towards Watson in the offense and even some of the defense until this week against Baltimore, and then 2 weeks because they have a bye after the Ravens game at home, both games at home, and then the next one after the Ravens in 2 weeks against San Francisco. Those 2 games will truly give me a vision of what this year is going to look like. But until then, I'm not giving a full proper judgment. Anyway, so the Texans beat the Jaguars 37-17, including Andrew Beck, 85 or 90-yard kick return touchdown after muffling the kickoff at first in a huge part of the Texans win. This was all Texans in this game, and hopefully Jacksonville bounces back for their sake. Miami beats Denver. That's not the crazy part of that game. 70-20. Yes, you heard me right. 7-0. Not 1-7. 7-0 to 2-0. 70-20. This was the Broncos didn't have anything except like a kick return touchdown. That's all they had the entire game. Wilson sucked. Their offense sucked. And it was all Dolphins on the back of Raheem Mostert, 13 carries, 82 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 catch, 68 yards, and a touchdown. And a running back I had never heard of prior today or this week, Devon Akane or Shani, or I don't know how to pronounce it. 18 carries, 203 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 catches, 30 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And that's what led them to the utter domination of the Broncos. The Green Bay Packers in their home opener came back from down 17-0 win to beat the Saints, sealed by a group missed 46-yard field goal. It's also their 11th straight home opener win, which is crazy to be saying. Rashid Shaheed, though, for the Saints did have a 76-yard kick return touchdown, part of the 2 touchdowns they did get in this game. And then Arizona beat Dallas 28-16. There's nothing really to explain about that game. It was just Arizona dominated, pretty much. That is the games part of the recap. I thought before I looked at my prediction record that I did bad. I actually had a good week. I went 10-6, and my prediction record this year so far is 26-22. Standings update. For the AFC East, the Dolphins are in first place at 3-0, followed by the Bills at 2-1, followed by the Patriots at 1-2, and the Jets at 1-2. AFC North. 3-way tie for first, which will definitely be changing to some extent this week. Between the Steelers, Ravens, and Browns, all at 2-1, followed by the Bengals, who are 1-2. AFC South, Bengals beat the Rams, but it wasn't there's not much to talk about from that game. AFC South, Colts in first place, 2-1, followed by everyone else, Texans, Jaguars, and Titans at 1-2. AFC West, Chiefs in first place at 2-1, followed by the 1-2 Raiders and Chargers, followed by the 0-3 Broncos. That's for the AFC. For the NFC, with the NFC East, Philly in first place 3-0, followed by the 2-1 Cowboys and Commanders, followed by the 1-2 Giants. NFC North, the Packers and Lions both in time for first at 2-1, followed by the 0-3 Vikings and Bears. AFC South, the Saints and the Falcons, Saints, and Buccaneers are all tied for first at 2-1, followed by the 0-3 Panthers. And then the NFC West, the 49ers are 3-0, followed by the 2-1 Seahawks, followed by the 1-2 Rams and 1-2 Cardinals. That is a standings update. Week 4 predictions. There are a whole bunch of games that it took me on a spin trying to make predictions for this week. Thursday night, a big one. The first tie for first place in the NFC North go head-to-head in Green Bay between the Lions and the Packers Thursday night. I think Detroit's going to win this game. Our first London game this year, Sunday, 9:30 a.m. on ESPN Plus and on Disney Plus, where they'll be having a Toy Story version of the game between the Falcons and the Jaguars. I have Jacksonville bouncing back and winning this week. Atlanta got dominated by Detroit. Miami and Buffalo. Buffalo dominated the Commanders this week. This is a tough game to predict because it's on one hand, the Bills are coming off domination, but on the other hand, the Dolphins are put up a whole big, bold statement. And if I'm the Bills, I'm scared going into this game. Facing team coming off scoring 70 points. I predict the Dolphins because I think they're right now the hotter team, even if it might not be against the best competition, but we'll see what happens. Vikings at Panthers. I have the Vikings. Broncos at Bears. Battle of own 3 teams. I have the Bears. Ravens at Browns. I have the Browns, and that's even with biasy aside. I think they can win this game. Steelers at Texans. I have the Steelers. Rams at Colts. I have the Rams. Buccaneers at Saints. I have the Saints. Oh, yeah, by the way, for the Saints, Derek Carr went down with the injury. James Winston replaced him in the game. Commanders at Eagles. I have the Eagles. Bengals at Titans. I have the Bengals. Raiders at Chargers. I have the Chargers. Patriots at Cowboys. I have the Cowboys bouncing back. Cardinals at 49ers. I have the 49ers. Chiefs at Jets. I have the Chiefs. That is Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football. Just one Monday night game this week. Seahawks at Giants. I have the Seahawks. So that is the NFL part of the episode recap. Let's get time into college football, which there's not much. There were a few things interesting, but not much. Florida State, Clemson. Clemson had a lead at one point, but even they blew opportunities to win this game. But Florida State barely escaped with the win, 31-24 in overtime. Number 10, Oregon whooped number 19, Colorado, 42-6, and even whooped is an understatement. It was utter domination. It was not a close game. Number 21, Washington State upset number 14, Oregon State, 38-35. Hold on one second. And then Ohio State, Notre Dame. I watched it. I stayed up to watch this game. This game was crazy. It was 0-0 at the end of one, which if you would have told me that before the game, I would not have believed it. Ohio State gets on the board first with field goal before halftime, and it was 3-0 at half. Hold on one second. Oh, hold on. I just realized something. Colorado isn't even ranked this week after their embarrassment to Oregon. Oh, no, yes. Sorry. So, second half, the Notre Dame gets the ball first. They get a bit of a drive, forced to a fourth down. You think, okay, they're going to punt it, or it might have been field goal, but whatever it was. No, I think punt because – first quarter, they had a chance to go for field goal, instead went for it and failed. This time, they could have punted, but went for it and failed. What does Ohio State do immediately on the first play they get of the second half? Sorry about that. Travion Henderson, 61-yard touchdown to give Ohio State a 10-0 lead, which I was like, well, that could be all she wrote. Well, it wasn't. Notre Dame would come back to score 14 unanswered points, making it a 14-10 game. Ohio State would get the ball back, get it to around 4 minutes left on a fourth down, and would fail to convert. And I honestly, at that point, was almost ready to say ball game, but I wasn't for sure. Ohio State ended up getting the ball back, even with Notre Dame getting 2 first downs. They would get the ball back with a minute 26 left and a timeout. would convert a third and 19 again in within the red zone, and with 3 seconds left on third down, would convert a Chip Trayanum run, 1-yard run for the touchdown that would give Ohio State the lead. And first, that was ruled to be game over, and Ohio State won, except they ended up giving a second back. Notre Dame did nothing with it except a failed lateral that ended on a that was penalized anyways for illegal forward pass, and Ohio State barely won this game 17-14. Now, also what was big with the extra second added, it allowed Ohio State to go kick the extra point, which, with making the extra point, they actually covered the line, which was 2.5 going in the game, and they won by 3, so they covered. So kind of funny how that worked out. But that's it for college football recap from this week. Ohio State is unbiased. They do not have a game. Key games to keep an eye out for: number 10, Utah; number 19, Oregon State, 9 p.m. on Friday on FS1. Number 5, USC at Colorado now on Ranked, 12 p.m. on Fox. Number 13, LSU. Number 20, Ole Miss, 6 p.m. on ESPN. And number 11, Notre Dame at number 17, Duke, 7:30 on ABC. That is also where College Game Day is going to be this week. And that is it for college football. Now to MLB Weekly Recap, which there were some division standings wrapped up. No one else has clinched a playoff spot, really. Well, wild card wise, there was a division team that clinched a playoff spot, but has not clinched the division. So let's get right into it. Tyler Cropley records first major league hit and in major league debut via 8th inning single, whose former bullpen catcher in the Royals 7-6 win over the Guardians. 8th, including Alexander Canario, grand slam homer for first major league homer in the same game where he got first major league hit and RBI via 6th inning RBI double in a 14-1 Cubs win over the Pirates. They lost that series, sadly. Austin Hayes 2-homer game in the Orioles 9-5 win over the Astros. The Astros have struggled recently and aren't even in first place anymore. 6-run second lead, the Rangers over the Red Sox 15-5. With stolen base in first inning, Corbin Carroll became the first rookie to record 25 homer, 50 stolen base season in the Diamondbacks 7-1 win over the Giants. Brandon Drury 2-homer game leads the Angels over the Rays 8-3. Mark Vientos 2-homer game leads the Mets over the Marlins 8-3. Tyrone Taylor 2-homer game leads the Brewers over the Cardinals 8-2. Andy Rodriguez and Henry Davis, both catcher primary catcher prospects for the Pirates, homered in the same game in a Pirates 7-5 win over the Reds. 12-run second leads the Brewers to magic number being 1 from clinching division and clinching playoff spot, which, spoiler alert, they have not clinched the division yet, which is crazy saying because that playoff spot clinch was on Friday, and we are already on Tuesday, and they haven't clinched the division yet, and they face the Cubs this weekend, so we'll see what happens. With leadoff home run, Ronald Acuna Jr. is officially in the 40-40 home club in Atlanta, and Braves 9-6 win over the Nationals. Aaron Judge 3-homer game leads the Yankees over the Diamondbacks 7-1. 4-run 7th leads Twins to 8-6 win over the Angels and clinching the AL Central title for the first time since 2020. With Josh Lowe RBI single, since 2020. Rays clinched top AL wildcard spot and 7-6 win over the Blue Jays. Pirates down 9-0 in the third, come all the way back, scoring 13 unanswered runs and 13-12 win over the Reds. Kershaw with 5 scoreless innings and getting the W in his 210th career W, passing Don Drysdale for second, only behind Don Sutton with 233, only with the Dodgers, I think specifically, and a 7-0 win over the Giants. This also clinches first round bye for the Dodgers. With 5-1 Orioles win over the Guardians at Cleveland. Baltimore is now AL best 52-29 on the road, and is most in Baltimore history on the road since 1997. John Burry 2-homer game leads Marlins over the Brewers 6-1. Nelson Velasquez 2-homer game leads the Royals over the Astros 6-5, which is painful to be seeing as a Cubs fan. Part of the Jose Cuas trade, which has been mediocre for the Cubs. And with a 2-0 Tigers win over the A's in Oakland, Detroit is over 500 win percentage on the road for the first time since 2016. And that's it for the games part of the recap. Standings update. I'm going to be going over AL Central for the last time. I'm not going to be going over their standings anymore from here on out because They've clinched division after this episode. AL East. Orioles in first place, 97-54. Their magic number to clinching the division is 4 wins or Rays losses. Rays are 95-62, 2.5 games back, but they have clinched top wildcard spot and a playoff spot. Twins won the division. They are 83-73 at the moment. AL West, that's for the AL Central. For the AL West, the Rangers are now in first place at 88-68. Their magic number clinching division is 4, followed by the Astros, who are 2.5 back at 86-71, followed by the Mariners, who are 84-72, 4 games back. For the NL Central, and then for the NL Central, Brewers having clinched a playoff spot at 88-68. Their magic numbers to win the division is 1 win or Cubs loss. Cubs are 6 games back at 82-74. Why do I feel like they might not even be accurate? Hold on a second. And that's it for the division part of the recap standings. Is that accurate? Maybe, actually. Yeah, it is 6. Never mind. I don't know. And then for the AL wildcard standings, Rays are 9.5 games up, but their spot is sealed in A, being in the playoffs, and B, where they're going to be the top wildcard seed in the American League, followed by the Blue Jays, who are 87-69, a game and a half back, followed by the Astros, who are game and a half up, followed by the Astros, who are just neutral, and their magic number to clinching playoff spot is 5, followed by the Mariners, who are 84-72, a game and a half back. Everyone else is officially eliminated from the playoffs. For the NL wild card, the Phillies in first place, 87-69, 5 games up, followed by the Diamondbacks and Cubs, both at 82-74, both in tied for second place at the moment. The magic number to clinching a playoff spot for the Cubs, who are third at the moment because they don't have the tiebreaker over Arizona, is 6. Followed by the Marlins, who are 81-75, a game back. Followed by the Reds, who are 80-77, 2.5 games back. Followed by the Giants, 70-79, 4.5 games back. Followed by the Padres, 77-88, 5.5 games back. And as for today's schedule, the Dodgers and Rockies have a doubleheader. First game is currently going on, or I think is about to start. Let's see. It's already started, and the Rockies are up 3-0 in the top of the 6th. Second game is going to be starting at 8:40. Guardians at Reds at 6:10. Nationals at Orioles at 6:35. Royals at Tigers at 6:40. Pirates at Phillies at 6:40. Yankees at Blue Jays at 7:07. Rays at Red Sox at 7:10. Marlins at Mets at 7:10. Cubs at Braves, which will be Dansby Swanson's first return to Atlanta since signing with the Cubs in the offseason at 7:20. A's at Twins at 7:40. Diamondbacks at White Sox at 7:40. Cardinals at Brewers at 7:40. Rangers at Angels at 9:38. Padres at Giants at 9:45. Astros and Mariners at 10:05. And that is it for this week's episode of the podcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening. If you are new on audio, follow the podcast, leave a review, hit the notification button so you're notified when I go on live and or post a new video. If you are new on audio, follow the podcast, leave a review, hit the notification button so you're notified when I post on there. Thank you so much for watching and listening. And I will see you in next week's episode, episode 95. And will be the last one from here. As after next week's episode, I will be back out of Israel for some time. Bye.